Mafia The Old Country is taking us back to the birthplace where the Mafia all began. Will it be worth your time and money or not? I'm here to bring you this honest take review to tackle some of those big questions. And of course, I got you covered with no major story spoilers to worry about. So, without further delay, let's go. Hangar 13 is returning to its roots by delivering a linear story-driven prequel that sets the stage for the entire saga, getting away from the open-world expansive style that Mafia 3 had, setting the game in early 20th century Sicily, the birthplace of the Mafia. This setting finally explores the true origins of the Cosa Nostra, something the series has only hinted at till now. The story follows Enzo Favara, starting out as a Caruso, a young laborer enduring harsh, oppressive conditions in the sulfur mines. He escapes the mines and gets intertwined in the Teresi crime family, navigating a world of loyalty, vendettas, power struggles, survival, and love. The story is great. Yeah, you'll be able to see certain moments coming as it's a mob tale. A lot of them play very similar, but it is a well-written one. I found it to be an enjoyable journey. I was surprised at how hooked I was when checking this out, as it only took me a few days to beat. With that being said, it's not gonna be the longest game, but the length works for the story that is being told. Being delivered in a chapter format, you'll play through 15 total chapters, which will take you about 12 to 14 hours to beat. It is a slow start in the first few hours, as it's setting the stage, introducing characters, and slowly immigrating you into this underground world. Though, when that moment hits, and the pacing takes off, it may hook you. The game takes place from 1904 to 1907, and I have gotta say, this world is gorgeous. The world is brought to life with stunning detail on Unreal Engine 5, but you can see how much attention to detail the development team put in authenticity. Hangar 13 included full voice acting in the Sicilian language for total immersion, if you want that option. It's a world of contrast, from crumbling ruins and grimy alleys in the cities to beautiful vineyards. Travel isn't limited to period authentic cars either. Horseback riding adds an almost Wild West feel to the game, but with this setting, it works. I found this to be a very nice change of scenery compared to previous titles of cities representing the likes of Chicago and New York. Not to say there is anything wrong with those, as I like those games too, but this had a good feeling to it, like it was new, though having elements of familiarity to it in other aspects of the game to remind you, you were still playing a Mafia game. The gameplay still features cover shooting, stealth, racing moments, and intense melee combat, but once again, now every action serves the story. The result is a more cinematic and emotional experience, acting like an interactive mob movie. I found the combat to be familiar while introducing a few new elements too. Shootouts from behind cover as enemies are scattered about between you and your main objective. Opportunities for stealth where you can choose to choke someone out before the timer runs out, or simply go in for a brutal finisher. One new element of combat I loved was the use of knife duels. It's just another detail that shows the developers did their homework, and it's great, as knife duels were a real and significant part of the Sicilian culture. I can't really show you too much, as they tended to happen during crucial story moments, and I'm a man of my word, no major story spoilers. But from the little part I can show you and talk on, it could prove to be a little challenging, but so much fun, as you battle it out and take on a foe to diminish his health bar, elevating the cinematic action of the story. The last thing I'll touch on in combat before we move on is I wasn't too big of a fan of some Assassin's Creed-like elements I encountered, like their version of Eagle Vision acting as an X-ray to see close proximity enemies, or how there were random boxes to hide enemies after you knocked them out or took them out. It just didn't seem fitting to me, but those are my only minor complaints about the combat. I'm all about being upfront and giving you a heads up on things to keep an eye out for. As beautiful as this game might be, it can come with some issues as well. I did my playthrough experience on PC, so if you are a fellow PC player, I highly recommend checking your PC build specs and comparing it to what Steam lists as the requirements to play the game. Because in-game, where you may be used to turning certain settings down, there is going to be in-game barriers in the settings that you'll not be allowed to turn down as much, as that's part of the intended vision for the game. Where for all my gamers, there has been reports of stutters and frame drops no matter what you're playing on. At different times, I even saw weird shadows, or experienced the worst possible times for stutters. Like, I am absolute garbage at racing and driving, and I'd experienced one in like a crucial moment in a race. Hopefully, these things can be addressed with future updates, and it won't be such a long wait for these fixes. Overall, I enjoyed my time with this. This new story feels like it belongs, delivering the brotherhood, shocking betrayals, and quiet character moments that carry a big impact. With sharp dialogue and unforgettable characters, the atmosphere is classic Mafia. The focus is on making players feel Enzo's journey. Combat is a life or death struggle, from shotgun blast to desperate knife duels. By returning to a gameplay loop reminiscent of the first two titles, Hangar 13 has crafted not just a prequel in story, but a successor in design. I got this for $50 and I have no regrets. Yeah, there were a few bugs and issues I ran into like I mentioned, but not enough to take me out of the experience. If the price tag does sound a little steep, as, let's be honest, things are expensive out there. If you're okay with waiting, it may have dropped at a very good time, where later in 2025, when heavy sales season is in full swing with Black Friday, and maybe even before then with fall sales, it could drop from there. Hopefully, you got something out of this review. Thank you for being here, and I do greatly appreciate your time. I'd like to hear from you and your thoughts. What do you think about Mafia The Old Country? Please consider dropping a like and sharing this with a fellow Mafia game enjoyer. But most importantly, remember to take care of yourself. Have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next video.